Let's finish the last part of the text correction. Each statement below is false, fix the statement, so it's true. Do not use the word sometimes, always, never, or not, or any positive. Do not change the subject. Opposite angles in a parallelogram are supplementary. You said it's congruent, so that's good. Okay. The diagonals of a rhombus are congruent, are perpendicular. That's good, because if you draw a picture of this is a rhombus, correct? So then if you just draw the diagonals of it, you'll see that they create 90 degrees. So good. A rectangle is a square. No, a rectangle cannot be a square because in order to be a square, you need to have four sides that are congruent. So what you need to say is not congruent to a square. You need to say a square is a rectangle. In order to become a rectangle, opposite sides are congruent. Well, opposite sides of a square is congruent.
What?
You just need to reverse it.
But you just said a square is not a rectangle.
I said a rectangle is not a square. This is a rectangle is a square. That's a statement. That's not true. Well, is a rectangle a square? A square has to have four equal sides. Does a rectangle have four equal sides?
No. I didn't know that though.
You didn't know that a rectangle did not have four equal sides?
No, I didn't know what it meant.
Just reverse it. Just say a square is a rectangle and a square is a rectangle. To be a rectangle, you need to have opposite sides to be equal. Opposite sides of a square are equal. The diagonals of a parallelogram are perpendicular. So let's draw this. So draw the diagonals. Well, clearly they're not because I can see that I can definitely see that this right here is obtuse, right? This right here is acute. But what they do is that you can say that the diagonals of a parallelogram bisects each other, which means that this side, this diagonal is equal to this diagonal is equal to this diagonal. Can you draw that picture? But do you see that though? Draw the picture. E, read the question, please.
There's an X in front of each.
No, the diagonals of rectangle are perpendicular. Are congruent. Okay, good. All right, cool. Okay, next one. Go ahead. All quadrilaterals are not squares. Think about it. A quadrilateral could be a trapezoid. It could be a parallelogram. It could be a rhombus. It could be a rectangle. All of these sides here, these are not equal to a square. This is false. So no X. Do you understand? All squares are a rectangle. That is true. Remember how we say that to be a rectangle, opposite sides are congruent? Well, in a square, all four sides are congruent. So the opposite sides are definitely congruent. Do you understand that? All quadrilateral are parallelograms. No. In order to be a parallelogram, you need to have opposite sides congruent and they have to be parallel. Correct? A trapezoid is a quadrilateral, but a trapezoid is not a parallelogram. Do you see that? So no, that's false. The diagonals of a kite are always perpendicular. That is true. Draw the picture. You just need to draw your picture, Grayson.
So we're all quadrilaterals.
Quadrilaterals are anything that has four sides. Quad means four. If you take a look at this, they are always going to be perpendicular. So that is true. For E, F, G, and H, I want you to draw the picture, please. Even though you're not correct, I want you to draw the picture. Go ahead and do that. Draw the picture and tell me why you chose that answer. Make sure you refer to this family tree right here. Quadrilateral just means anything with four sides. That could be a trapezoid, parallelogram, kite, isosceles trapezoid, which means these two sides here are equal. Rectangle, rhombus, or square. Square is the most unique, okay? So a square can be a rectangle, a square can be a rhombus, a square can be isosceles trapezoid, because square has the most characteristic that could be any of these ones over here, right? But these ones cannot automatically be a square. Square is the most unique. Why is it the most unique? Because to be a square, you need to have four congruent sides. Which one here has four? The only other one that has four congruent sides besides the square?
Rhombus?
A rhombus. Also, a square has to have four congruent angles that are 90 degrees. Which other one has that?
Rectangle.
Yeah. Square also have opposite sides are parallel. Which other one has opposite sides parallel? Trapezoid has one side. You see the one side right here? No, isosceles trapezoid have only one pair of parallel lines. These two are parallel. These two are not parallel. These two are not train tracks. Yeah, there's only one pair. You need to have opposite sides to be parallel. This only has one opposite sides. Square has this side parallel. Do you see that? And it has this side parallel. It has two opposite sides are parallel. Which other one has two opposite sides that are parallel? Like train tracks.
Rectangle.
Yes, what else?
No. I said parallelogram.
You said rectangle.
No, I said parallelogram before rectangle.
What else?
Rhombus. Is that it?
And then also, square also has diagonals, bisect each other, and perpendicular. Any other ones that bisect each other and are perpendicular? And what I mean by that is, if you draw the diagonals here, bisect each other, bisect each other means that they're equal. Like this side is equal to this side is equal to this side. And they create 90-degree angles.
Rhombus.
Rhombus do bisect each other, and they're also perpendicular, but not the same, because with the square, do you see that all four sides of the bisectors are equal? Whereas the rhombus, it's only one side. Yeah. Rectangle is the other one where if you draw it, they also have this part equal this part, but these are not perpendicular. One is acute, one is obtuse. Do you understand now why square is very unique? So let's go back to this. Which of the following of a parallelogram? I want you to tell me all the, okay, so first draw a parallelogram. And then tell me, what do you know about this?
My paper.
Yeah, on your paper, draw a parallelogram. I want you to tell me, what do you know about the sides? What do you know about the angles? What do you know about the diagonals? What do you know about what's parallel? So label all that for me. When you're ready, let me know. What do you know about the sides?
Sides are congruent.
What's that? All sides?
Yeah.
No. Opposite sides are congruent. If all sides are congruent, then it'll be a rhombus. Has to be opposite side.
Oh.
What do you know about the diagonals?
So the diagonals are congruent.
No. Bisects each other, which means this side is equal to this side. This is equal to that. Does that make sense? And they're not perpendicular. You see how this is obtuse and this is acute? Obtuse, acute. Do you see that? What's parallel? What do you know about what is parallel? You see how this side right here is parallel to this side, like they're like train tracks? And this side is parallel to this side. The little arrow is what you do for parallel, for something parallel. The little tick marks is when it's congruent. Diagonals are congruent. They're not congruent. Because they're not, right? One's longer than the other. The adjacent angles are congruent. They're not, because adjacent angles mean angles next to each other. So this angle here and this angle, one is going to be obtuse, one is acute, right? So that's wrong. So this is false, false. The diagonals bisect the angles. No, the diagonals bisect each other. They do bisect because we said this part right here is equal to this part, right? When it says bisect the angles, that means this. You see how this is a parallelogram? It's saying when I draw this, it makes these two angles equal each other. Are they equal to each other? No, they're different size. Do you see that? Do you see how this angle right here is a lot bigger than this angle right there? You see that? So when it says bisect the angle, that means the angles are congruent, and that is false. They're not congruent. Okay? The diagonals bisect each other. Does that make sense? Each pair of opposite angle is congruent. It is. Opposite angles are congruent, okay? Each pair of opposite angle sides is congruent. Yes. The diagonals bisect each other. Yes, this is correct. So it does not bisect the angle, it bisects each other, right? Each pair of opposite side is parallel. The diagonals are perpendicular. They're not perpendicular. That's false. Yep. Okay. Other than that, you got it. Okay. So make sure you start studying for this.
That's so good.
No, you didn't. You're gonna see on this. I'm gonna kick you off the chair. I'm gonna turn this off and then I'm gonna slap you.